Well, let's go to Taipei. Ross Feingold joins us from there, a political risk analyst for Asia. Ross, really good to talk to you. You're a risk analyst, so how much riskier can this incremental tension get? It seems to increase day by day, literally.
Well, certainly for governments, NGOs, the corporate world, obviously they have to be concerned about the rise in tension. You mentioned that the U.S. government has already evacuated most U.S. diplomats from Iraq. Certainly the energy industry, corporates that are involved in development projects around the Gulf have to have a heightened sense of awareness about these ongoing developments. And frankly, the outlook isn't good. It looks like the tensions are going to continue to increase. And that would be a risk not just for people on the ground around the Gulf, but also in the air or on the seas.
Is it wise to be selling weapons to Saudi Arabia at this very moment? The UN says that Riyadh is killing the United Nations. Hold on, Ross, this is a really important point, right? And obviously, come back on it. It's the United Nations itself says that Riyadh is killing civilians in Yemen. So to be selling weapons to Saudi Arabia at this moment to counter Iran, is that wise?
It's a fair question to ask, and that's why there's been a lot of criticism in the American Congress, particularly over the last 6 months to 1 year. And the U.S. Congress attempted to pass legislation that would force the administration's hand on this issue. But the administration was able to certify last September. Secretary of State Pompeo issued a statement to Congress certifying that Saudi Arabia is making efforts to protect civilians. That could be disputed, of course. It is an ongoing war. There are inevitably, unfortunately, going to be civilian deaths. And we're going to see more criticism from Congress over the announcement that was made on Friday. Absolutely going to happen. However, given Iran's actions as well, I think the criticism that we would have expected maybe a few months ago is probably going to be muted.
Do you think that there are genuinely people in Washington, some of Donald Trump's close advisors, who genuinely want to go to war with Iran? Or is this really a way to pressure Tehran to renegotiate the nuclear deal that Donald Trump has pulled the U.S. out of?
Well, to be fair to Trump administration officials, I don't think they want to go to war. We have to keep in mind that President Trump campaigned on extracting the U.S. from these kinds of overseas entanglements. And if anything, the U.S. would want the regional partners or Europe to take more of an interest in the security risks that exist closer to their countries. But again, the administration is also, as you indicated, it's staffed with senior officials who've long been very skeptical of the Iran agreement. They are very much against Iran's nuclear program. And they made it clear from the time they took office that they were going to take action. And that's why they backed out of the JCPOA. And they're continuing to take a tough line on Iran because there's a bottom line here from a U.S. perspective. And they're supported, frankly, by many countries in the region. And that bottom line is not to allow Iran to have a nuclear weapons program.
Ross, we always appreciate you joining us with your analysis on TRT World. Thanks very much indeed. Ross Feingold speaking to us from Taipei.